Welcome to the Soulcery Podcast, your sacred space to delve into spiritual tools, topics, and practices that will illuminate your path of soul remembering and healing. I'm your host, Ligia Costa, a soul guide, alchemist, soul writing coach, and the creator of the Trust Pathway. I'm deeply grateful to have you here with me. Together, we will embark on a profound exploration of self-discovery and healing, unlocking the secrets that lie within. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Soulcery Podcast. And today I have with me Višnja Dragun. She's such a beautiful soul. We've met, I would say, a couple of years ago, and we kind of just connected more deeply, I would say, this year. And she has such an amazing story through her own healing, through her spiritual path, spiritual initiation that started when she was very young and very ill, and how like she healed herself, and now the work that she does encompasses a lot of spirituality. I would say her story would give a beautiful book or a novel or a series on Netflix. It's so amazing. Hi Vishnya, I'm so happy that you're here.
Hi,
Would you
thank
like
you.
You're welcome, darling. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us all your amazing stories?
Yes, thank you. So my name is Višnja Dragun, and I come from Croatia, Zagreb, the capital. And I am so happy to be here today, Ligia.
Oh.
So, yeah, my story started when basically I was in my kind of teenage years. And up to then, I was like a normal kid. I was going to the music school and I was attending elementary school and just living a normal life. And after one night, I just felt that my body was kind of crashing on me, and that in school they noticed that I can't run. And first, they didn't think it's anything serious, but I was really exhausted and I couldn't breathe very well. And then they sent me to hospital to do some checkups, and then I ended staying in hospital for 5 months in one go. And basically, they did some experiments on me there, and they diagnosed me with autoimmune disease. And yeah, they treated me with corticosteroids for next 4 years. So from the age of 13 until the age of 17, I was like heavily treated with all of these corticosteroid medications. And at that time, I had to go through high school, and it was really difficult to be with other kids, like when they like to kind of bully you because you look different.
Mm.
And my face was really swollen from all of the steroids. This term is called moon face. And I was kind of shy kid, and I kept to myself because I was kind of embarrassed of how I look at the time.
Mm.
And then when I was 17, I noticed that my hair started falling and my left leg was completely swollen. And then I said, I felt really bad. Like I felt that I'm not even somehow alive, that I'm like, like a ghost in a shell, that I feel that my
Mm.
physical body is breaking apart so badly from all the medications that I drank as a kid,
Mm.
that I was like on the verge of almost of a kind of suicide. But I would never have energy or I didn't want to do it, but I was really depressed, basically. And then I stumbled upon a Chinese woman who became my teacher later. And she basically just sat on the stage and she had meditation classes. And I came there for 9 days and nothing happened. And then the ninth day that I came, she was just talking from the stage, and she asked me, "How are you?" And I said, I'm pretty sick, and can you please help me because I can't live like this." I was 17 at the time. When she started talking, she was emitting so much energy
Mm.
that my body was like really hot in this moment. And I noticed that something was going on in my body. And basically my hands, palms of my hands were kind of inverted outwards, and the same happened with the feet. And I was like, oh my god, what is going on? And there was a huge cramp in my heart, like almost like a simulation of a heart attack. And then she sent someone from the stage to come to me, and she said, don't worry, this is just a heart reaction. She said, you don't have any problem with your liver like they told you in the hospital. You just have a blocked heart meridian. And basically you have to open this meridian so that energy can flow through your body. At that time, what I experienced, maybe, like even some kind of kundalini awakening, because this energy was flowing through me like electricity of 1,000 volts. And
Wow.
this was lasting for maybe 20-25 minutes. And the only
Wow.
only thought that was going through my mind, like, oh my god, how will I go home? Like, I can't move. And I remember somebody asked me, like, how are you? And I couldn't speak, because when your heart is in a cramp, the throat also gets blocked.
Mm.
And as much as I wanted to say something, I just couldn't. The throat chakra was completely closed at that point. And after that day, when this passed, everything was kind of starting to going in some better direction, physically. So my body started healing. I was going to these meditations day by day, 5 o'clock in the morning. We were getting up really early to be in that center, where she just led long meditations of maybe 2 hours in a go. So since 17, basically, I started meditating. And this is when I realized how meditation can influence basically your body and your energetic systems, so that the body heals itself, because all of us are basically capable of healing ourselves.
Mhm.
Just you have to learn basically how to relax enough, so the energy that is everywhere around you, like in the universe, and energy from the sun, energy from the air, can come into your body. And then what most people experience is they feel tingles, they feel kind of warm feeling. And
Mhm.
when you experience that, it means that energy flows. And then sometimes you can have some reactions after this kind of treatments, like some pain or some, like I had huge reactions because of the amount of medications that I had in these 4 years at that time.
Yeah.
And then my body was kind of detoxing after next in the next maybe couple of years. So this is how my kind of healing journey started with her. And then basically afterwards I just continued going to her sessions, and then I sometimes slowly started working for her. And then I went to her school in New Zealand, and I studied there for 5 years. And then I returned back to Croatia, and I basically started to learn some new aspects of Chinese medicine, like tuina massage and acupressure, and all the different points on the body that can influence energetic system. And then eventually I became a TCM therapist, and now I work as a tuina massage therapist, and I do cupping and moxa treatments. Yeah, so this is basically how it started. But the most important part, I think, for every person, that we become aware that we can heal ourselves,
Mhm.
and that we if you can relax enough your body day by day. Because the most people, when they start meditating, their mind is their problem. They have so many thoughts, and they just can't relax. And they have the need to move their legs or their feet, or they can't sit still for a long time. And day by day, you can, if you learn to meditate really well, then your body can self regulate much, that basically you can heal yourself.
Well, what I love this story, by the way. Well, it's not a story, it's your life. It's
Yeah.
it's your life. What I find impressive is the awareness and maturity that you shown at 17 years old, when we know very well when we are 17 we're still trying to find out who we are. We don't have that sort of maturity and that sort of self-actualization. We don't. Perhaps because you've been going through that process, of pain, and health wise you were not a normal child, as in, able to do whatever you wanted, eat whatever you wanted, probably, just have that freedom as all the other teenagers. You're probably forced to go a lot inwards, and just try to cope with those feelings that you were feeling at the time, and maybe that's what catapulted you to be so aware. But I found it really, really impressive, that awareness that you had so young, and how your healing journey, inner work, like the inner healing journey that normally comes with age, normally comes, after years of doing a lot of things, a lot of mistakes, having a lot of experiences. You started very, very young.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of forced to,
Mm,
because I thought first, okay, this lady might be some kind of acupuncturist. She will put needles in my body, but no, she was just using meditation to heal basically people at that time. And at that time in 1996, she was focused on healing, but later she turned into more like business and business works, developing people's business abilities. But then she was focused on healing, and then I realized that the Western people in the West are not aware. Actually, we live like this materialistic life,
mm,
and we don't have, the Western medicine. Sometimes, yeah, okay, you can use it for different things, like when you break your leg, but the Western medicine doesn't have all the answers sometimes. And when you kind of give yourself a chance, that you find intuitively what works for you and your body, because everybody's individual. And I was not sure if this will work for me, but obviously it did. And she was a very strict coach and very, very strict, like Chinese minded teacher. So she was very strict with us, and she forced us to get up really early in the morning, and she forced us to eat healthier food, like more vegetables, more rice, more, not so much bread, not so much milk and sugar.
mm,
So she basically forced us to kind of, in the army almost, we were kind of trained to get up, and in New Zealand we did some like energetic exercises in the morning in the forest, and then we were eating healthy food. And somehow she managed to influence us at that time, when we were really young, that we kind of become aware of like what is actually healthy living.
mhm.
But yeah, afterwards I really wanted to also develop, because at that time when I was 17, I didn't know much about spirituality, and I was even afraid and skeptical of
Yeah.
some parts of that. But then I said, okay, I have really good experience with this, so this is what I'll do with that. And somehow after New Zealand, I started to develop this ability that I got messages through dreams.
Mm,
So before some bigger change in my life, I usually like got a message in a dream that something is going to happen, or like maybe a week before we were sent like from New Zealand to Croatia. I dreamt that specific, I had this specific dream that like I knew a week before that we will go back to Croatia. And then the manager of the school came, and she said, oh, next week you're called to help with some work there, and you are basically, you're flying back to your homeland. And so this kind of big crossroads in your life,
mhm.
uh, usually I would get messages in dreams for these kind of things. And also like sometimes I would see in a dream that when something big was happening with the earth, so planet earth. For example, before that huge tsunami in 2004, I was dreaming water for 3 days in a row. I didn't know where it will hit. I just knew that the water was in my dream was going over some huge skyscrapers, like maybe Seattle or some city in America.
Mhm.
But in reality, it was in Indonesia and this area of Asia. But I just knew that something is going on with water. And for 3 days, I had the same dream that was coming up. And then I thought, okay, this is weird. And then the biggest tsunami in 2004 stroke. So in 2004. So something like that I get through dreams.
Wow. Just rewinding a little bit so that our
Mhm,
listeners can understand. So, I'm curious to know how you were guided to meet this Chinese person
mhm,
that you thought she was going to do acupuncture or something like that, but actually was another kind of healing. So, first
mhm.
of all, I'm curious to know how a 17-year-old got guided through that, and then what did she actually did? Did she touch you during the process? Hence, her energy just start clearing your meridians. How that happened? Like it fascinates me.
Yeah, so basically, how I found about her, I just found her leaflet in my mailbox, like where I live.
Hmm.
And it was a funny leaflet because she was like, at that time, she wrote like some funny commercial, like, I can cure all the diseases. Like, she, on the leaflet was like list of 20 diseases or something. And she said she was very confident that she can heal all of that. And
Wow.
then I said, okay, this is a bit weird, but I can try. Like, nothing happens, nothing is lost.
Hmm.
So I just went with that mindset and said, okay, I just want to be better, whatever she does to me. If she pokes my whole body with needles, like, I thought it's acupuncture. But then she was just sitting on the stage day by day, talking to people. And I mean, she was energetically really strong person. And she was like a good teacher and healer and master at that point in time. And she could just like project this kind of healing energy on however many people sat in that crowd. And this hall was really enormous, maybe thousands of people, 1,000 people maybe was sitting there on her sessions.
Wow.
And sometimes she would just talk to people, and sometimes she would lead meditations. And she never like touched us physically in a way that she would do like physical treatment,
Hmm.
but she would just like lead session. And kind of she was doing the raising awareness thing in 1996 when that was still not so popular at that time. So not all people like that, especially the medicine people, and how it goes. But yeah, it was just her way of healing, raising consciousness, and teaching people about healthy lifestyle. And her own energy field was very strong at that time. So you could sit like 10 meters away from her in the back of the hallway, and in that hall. And you could still physically feel how her energy is strong just through her voice.
Wow.
So maybe this is some technique that Chinese masters have, but this is how strong she was. So, like, if she would ask you, "Hi, Lydia, how are you?" and you are back on the hall somewhere in the back, and you would start sweating, and like you have a physical reaction just from her talking to you. So this is how she was working.
Wow, that's wow, impressive. So you believe that that experience then opened you up in a way that you started having dreams as premonitions. And when was that point that you thought, okay, I'm not just having a dream. This is actually a premonition of something, warning me of something that's going to happen in my life. Where was that point that you start realizing that?
Well, I kind of realized that the dream that is just a dream. It was kind of confusing, not really clear.
Mm,
And when I would get a message in a dream, it would be so clear and so straight that you can't forget it. How much ever, like, now, like, if I would really if I want to put all my dreams on the paper, like, for, I don't know, 15 years back, I can put maybe like 15 to 20 dreams in one together, and then together on a journal. And then I would say, yeah, this is what I dreamt at that point, and it was really really significant. And for
mm,
example, just after I came from New Zealand back to Croatia, I was dreaming this I had this image of flying lion in my head all the time, and it came through my dreams, and I was somehow, what is this flying lion? And when I was flying from New Zealand back to Croatia, I flew over Singapore, and then I saw, okay, this is this merlion in Singapore, but he looks like more a mermaid. Like, what is this? Why I'm seeing flying lion all the time, like the lion with wings? And then I came to Zagreb, and it some time passed, and then I see the company that is Generali Insurance, Italian insurance company, and they have this logo of a flying lion. And I was thinking, like, what does this means? And then at that time, I was still working for this Chinese woman, and then she kind of, at that point, we had to sell some programs that she did for other people. Then I had this idea of, maybe if I go into this building of General Insurance and try to sell some program to them, it maybe might have some meaning. And then I was thinking, okay, but why would I do that? I'm not even in the sales department. And later, in back in 2013, basically, the first time in my life, I met my half brother, and then he told me, I met him for the first time because I never knew where he lives, where he is. My father never told me. And then he said that if I went into that Generali building and I tried to sell them something, I would probably come directly into in contact with the service where he actually worked at that time. So I would find my brother if I would go there, half brother from my
Oh my
father's.
God.
So that's why I was getting the symbol of the winged lion, and then it's something important. And if I went into that building, how if I would follow my intuition at that time, I
Ah.
would find my brother. So, but I mean, I found him years later, but still under strange circumstances, because I was chatting online with one police officer who is now retired, and we were chatting through some social network. And I said, I have this half brother, but don't know where he lives. I don't know how he looks like. I just know his name, and maybe he changed his name because his first name and second name are pretty similar. So I was sure that somehow he changed his name. And then he said, okay, did you try to find him on Facebook? And I said, okay, I didn't try yet because Facebook was, I think, new at that time. And then I think in 2014, I tried to find him. And then this police person helped me with finding his address. And then when I met him, he said, yeah, I was working at that time exactly in that building in General Insurance. So, yeah.
That's crazy. Oh my God. Imagine, but maybe even if you went there and you followed that intuition, you probably would
Mhm.
meet him and not
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, was that at that point that you knew, okay, my dreams are actually guiding me and
Yeah,
telling me something?
I can give you an example, the recent example. Like, I went for a job interview in 2019. Again, it was some kind of it was another insurance company, and they were looking for people who are therapists because they wanted to have massage for their employees.
Hmm.
And then after the first initial job interview, I basically dreamt my boss and in that company, and I saw, somehow I was aware in the dream that if I get this job, this will somehow help me to go to US, because this was my long term wish to go there. I wanted to visit Sedona and some other national parks. And basically, in my dream, I dreamt like a huge bridge from my balcony where I live now to the like Golden Gate Bridge was in my dream. But that didn't mean that I will go to San Francisco, but still I went to US that year. And this was
You
just the
did.
last time before Corona stroke, because that was 2019, and I had this feeling of urgency. I didn't know why, like something will happen, but I don't know why. And then I was like in there in US in September 2019, just before. If it will be a little bit after, I probably wouldn't be able to travel. Yes. So.
Wow.
Yeah,
And you managed to went to go to Sidonia and all of those places
yeah,
you
yeah,
wanted.
yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I visited Florida and Arizona. I went to visit the doctor of Chinese medicine that I met in on Chinese medicine conference in Rome, and yeah, so and I went to visit a friend in Arizona, and then I asked him that we can go to Sedona together. So I see the red rocks, and that was my dream.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
And then
because Sedona is famous like a vortex for different spiritual people. So
mm,
I wanted to feel this energy field. And if I would go there now, I would look maybe for a guide, maybe Native American Indian guide who could guide me like for this kind of trekking, hiking to see and feel some special, earth vortexes there in Sedona.
mm.
So yeah. At that time, I couldn't find it, but maybe next time.
And I must just add that Vishnia just recently went to Bali. And I love that she goes to all these places that have this magical connection with ancient spirituality. So I'm now curious to know, did you felt more like comparing when you went to Sidonia
Mhm.
and now that you just been to Bali and both are very spiritual places,
Mhm.
which one of the two you felt like the energy more?
Well, it's a little bit different. You in America, somehow you feel that everything is big, the wideness of the land,
Mm.
the big place. And in Bali, you feel that people are so nice. I don't know. I don't know if this is because of Hinduist culture, because I learned that they give away 40% of their incomes. Basically, they don't earn much. They are pretty kind of poor people with low economic standard, but there is hyperinflation there for sure because of the Indonesian rupee. And then when you compare these two places, somehow for Bali, I don't know, I would say the jungle is magical.
Mm.
Yeah, but you should be aware in the jungle is stay in the present because all of these animals, uh, you know. And but people in Bali are really like, I don't know, nobody was. I didn't feel that no one was like nervous or the traffic is chaotic, but this is because of the tourists,
Mm.
the huge amounts of tourists from all over the world who come there. But Bali feels more like feminine energy, like more America, like cities for sure, they're hugely masculine. But Sedona, I would say, I was just mesmerized in Sedona how beautiful colors are there in nature because rocks are red, the vegetation is green, and the sky is blue. If you come in, I don't know, anytime during the summer, and it's just magical to be there. And I don't know, I just felt both places are nice, but in a different way.
Mm.
And I don't know, I'm just mesmerized with all the animals in Bali. I mean, elephant is not typical for Bali. They moved 30 Sumatran elephants from Sumatra to Bali because unfortunately people destroyed their environment in Sumatra. So the one English person with his whole family, he basically in 1990s he moved this 31 Sumatran elephant from Sumatra to Bali to basically keep them alive because they wouldn't survive there because their complete environment was devastated.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, and this brings me to my oracle cards that I want to make for kids
Mm.
because I want to make like shamanic animal oracle cards for kids and adults. And I would really like to kind of put links in these cards for all of the different species of animals that are now really endangered or very, close to be almost extinct. And so many actually animals in Indonesia are threatened. They have this status of threatened animals
Oh.
because destroying the especially palm oil, orangutans, elephants, Sumatran elephants, and pangolins even. The animal that curls up in a ball, and they are like, I think they're anteaters. Like the pangolins are actually anteaters. So many of different species of birds, and yeah. But for sure, my one of my mission would be also to help with this aspect of preserving the environment and animals.
Oh, that's so cool. And possibly the fact that you've just been to Bali and you
Yeah.
experienced this, it
Mm.
was the last inspiration that you needed to actually create this deck that I know it's been
No.
on the cards for so long.
Yeah.
I can't wait when you actually release this deck, because if you knew or if you've seen Vishnia, she's very modest. She doesn't speak about her many gifts a lot, but she's this little Pandora box that when you open, she has all these amazing gifts. So she's not singing her song with fairness. You're not making yourself justice here. She's so creative. She creates healing mandalas. She's creating a deck for children. She does
Tuina. Tui
Rina.
means to press, na means to stretch. So this is a
Oh.
combination of acupressure and stretching. So this is all in the name. So tui is to press, and na means to stretch. So it's similar to shiatsu massage, which is more popular in the
Mm.
West. But tuina is like another aspect of, like it's similar to shiatsu, but maybe a little bit stronger, and uses the also meridians and the stretches to bring the body into balance.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and also of course when it was so funny when people ask me, when you do massages, can you turn off your energy? I said I can't. The energy flows all the time. You can't turn it on and off on request. Because some people ask me that, and I was like laughing, because like if your body is like a medium, if your body is a vessel that you for energy from the universe, and you work like that with your guides, you work with your spiritual team, and then you just transfer your best wishes into for healing into another person, and that's it. And basically everybody's healing themselves, but you just have to make them aware.
Mm.
But many people today are really really lazy, and they don't want to exercise, so massage is like the passive exercise for them.
Oh, wow. Never
Yeah.
knew that.
Yeah.
But apart from massages and cupping, that I also
Mhm.
know, she
Mhm.
also creates the most peaceful, relaxing meditations. She's highly intuitive. She doesn't say that, but she's highly intuitive. And she can, through oracle cards, I think that's the medium you use the most, isn't it? Oracle
Mhm.
cards to give
Mhm.
readings to
Mhm.
people. But I've been in a container with Visionaire many times where we kind of practice our intuition skills, and she's always spot on. And she's able to see if someone belongs to galactic beings or Lemurian or Avalon, Asian tribes. She has such a strong third eye. But as I was saying, even now talking about this, her face is like, you look so cute. You just don't blow your horn enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trained with Thea Wood in last 2 or 3 years. I think it's 3 years now already. So we did many trainings with her. She's exceptional, basically coach for coaches. So she's a teacher for intuitive people. She has this course in Lemurian light healing, and she has attended the course of archetypes and mediumship with her. And basically, yeah, she even helps us to kind of get to the next level of intuition. That's why I worked with her in the last 3 years. And it's really intense work, but it's really effective. And I feel that she helps me open up my channels even more.
Mm.
And also she's reminded me to stay grounded and be present in this reality. So that's why I'm doing this interview.
Oh, and I'm so grateful that you are. I know that I invited you a few months ago, and it took you a while
Yeah.
to find the courage, I think, to do it. Well, I'm so happy that you did
Mm,
because you do have an amazing story. So, you started working with this Chinese lady, teacher, spiritual teacher, I would say. Then you
mm,
came back to Croatia,
mhm.
just doing massages. But
Yep.
when was the moment that you felt this feeling inside that kind of told you, I'm meant to do more and I'm meant to follow this spiritual path on a deeper level and bring healing to people?
Well, I felt it mostly first on my body because with massages can be kind of double-edged sword because I'm so empathic in a way and so sensitive that sometimes through massages, if I would have kind of clients who are more demanding or energetically not so clean,
Mm,
I would really feel tired sometimes after the treatment.
yeah.
And then after doing massages for, I don't know, over 25 years, there was a point when I realized, okay, I have to move on from these massages into something even more, higher level. And as much as I want to still help people and I still do them, but I want to move up to something like more talking, more raising awareness, also healing, but maybe in a different way
Mm,
through talking, through intuitive sessions, through channeling, like mediumship, or through drawing some kind of different sacred geometry or mandalas that can also assist with healing and kind of creating a better environment also for people.
mm,
So yeah, I think the consciousness is the main thing. But yeah, all of us are very difficult to move from the status quo and from our daily lives, that when we become stagnant, it's very difficult to force yourself to then kind of go back into the training mode. So you are consciously working on yourself
mm,
from the moment you wake up until the evening. So like if you look at each day as a training instead of just another day, that's a different, kind of position, let's say,
mm.
learning position and living position.
It is. It's kind of consciously choosing to working on yourself and see it as a
Yeah, and
train.
also,
Yeah, a
and
training
also
day where you will learn lessons, and it's just another day that will guide you on your path. Really, you
yeah,
know.
and also asking for help from your guides and from your angels. We forgot that we have them, and
Mm,
we don't ask for help enough. And then sometimes when you're completely in flow, then you get this series of synchronistic events that help you to push you more on your way.
mm.
So
It's just like that resistance, isn't it? And I think with you, it's just not you. I find I see these in so many people that are highly intuitive, right? Very, very intuitive and has so many gifts. But then when it comes to actually telling the world, I'm here, I do this, I can help you with this, that resistance just shows up. And it's like, not sure. Maybe I need to study more. Maybe I need to practice more. Maybe I'm not ready yet.
yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah, that's always the main block.
Mm,
Many people.
yeah,
Yeah, and I can say for myself that I don't feel so comfortable in the limelight, like when the all the
mm,
light is on you. But this is what everybody has to do, so the world can be a better place. Yeah.
exactly,
Mm.
exactly. I'm so so glad that you do it, and you stepping out. I think I feel like this year you really stepping into that calling,
Mm.
isn't it? You're coming out of your shell, of your hibernation, of your hiding place, and slowly but surely, just showing what you are here to do.
Yeah, and I have my dog also to help me. He's like a good teacher
Oh.
because he's a specific character, very stubborn.
Mm.
Like an Aries in horoscope, he has birthday in the spring. So his kind of character is teaching me how to be more active. He wants to be the boss, and then I'm always trying to kind of set up my own energy field next to him so that I'm stronger than him in a way. Because
Yes.
animals can feel it, and
Oh, yes.
yeah,
And they
like
can
small
be
kids,
such teachers. They
Uh,
are such amazing teachers. Like
mm,
with my dog Milo, I find he teaches me a lot as well. But in the sense like yours is to get you, be more active. Milo to me is like to be more present,
mhm.
to slow down and just be. So he forces me to stop, to cuddle him, for example. And to be more playful as well, because he's so playful. And sometimes with the busyness we forget that childlike play that we once had,
Mhm.
right? We kind of like, oh, I'm an adult now. We kind of block that playfulness because we see it not as an appropriate or not a priority. And it kind of forces me to remember that.
Yeah, dogs can teach us so much about playing.
Yeah. Do you find your dog is the same?
Yeah, I mean, my dog has at the moment, my dog has better social life than I do. But it's funny, but it's the way it is. Like he reminds me that it's good to be in the pack, you know.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, what are your dreams or plans for this year or the next year regarding your spiritual work?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to finally finish my website so that I can start working properly. And then, so far, I only have this Facebook group that people can join, and you can find me on Facebook under my name. And then I will put you in the group on request if you anybody wants. So, of course, everyone is welcome. And then I want to finish the project with Oracle cards. I want to record more meditations for people so they can learn how to work with their bodies, not against the bodies,
Mm,
and somehow help people to find their mission. And so many people these days is kind of stuck in the matrix and in this 3D reality that it's very difficult for them to even kind of be aware of who they are really, and somehow to connect themselves with their inner child
mm,
and finally feel that kind of happiness for life, and not just be in the the grind of the 3D world every day,
mm,
and the busyness and stress and tiredness and sickness. We are all tired from everything, and the world needs more happiness. Everybody needs more happiness. So I feel that it's really important to be more connected with yourself, with your needs, be able to set boundaries with people, to say to other people what this is enough.
mm,
I, this is my place, this is my energy field.
mm.
I need my space, so everybody can use in daily life. And of course,
Absolutely.
when you align with your own soul purpose and your own talents, then you can start working on your dream job, your something that you would really really like to do. Yeah, in my case, I feel connected with kids and with animals, and with, of course, anything connected with energy and healthy living, also with different, I don't know, anything that's new and fun in the energy world.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So you already mentioned that people can find you on Facebook. So it's under Višnja Dragun.
Višnja Dragun, yes. Mhm. It's
Uh,
like dragon, just with you, the surname. Mhm.
I will link all the things in the show
Mhm.
notes for you to look up to. But you
Mhm.
do have a Facebook group, but it's private, so people can't really search for it, isn't it?
I think you can, but maybe better to send me private message in inbox in Facebook, and then I will send them invitation, whoever wants to come and join the group.
The group that's name is Avalon Dreams.
Avalon Dreams, yeah. Dreams because I feel connected to dreams, and Avalon because it's somehow connected with my soul mission. So, and somebody says that Avalon is actually the name for paradise or for some kind of forgotten paradise,
Mm.
and something that maybe we as civilization kind of feel that we almost lost, but there is still so many people that fight for these positive, forces and positive energy and happiness in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the website will be coming
Yeah.
possibly by the time that this episode airs
Hmm.
on the Soulcery podcast.
Hmm.
Maybe the website is already live and running, and if that is the case, the link will be in the show notes as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully by the time this episode airs in the Soulcery podcast, you'll have this website running. And if that is the case, I'll put the link in the show notes. And I also know that um, Višnja has a gift for the first 2 people that join her email list. They will get a free intuitive reading. Can we
Yes.
explain what an intuitive reading is? Just
Yeah. Basically, intuitive reading includes like a short 15-20 minute meditation for kind of raising the frequency, and then we can tune in into either your past lives if somebody is interested, and then we can tune in into your star connections, your guides, your angels, and then you can ask any questions about the current life or issues that you have at the moment. So anything about health or relationships or business or money or whatever bothers you at the moment. So this reading usually lasts from hour and a half to 2 hours, because this is, I think it's long because this is really, if you want to go deep into everything, it's, I think this time is like necessary for the good reading.
oh, wow. Wow, that's an amazing offer.
Yeah, it is.
That's an amazing offer. So I will leave all the links in the show notes for a chance of being one of the 2 first people to join her email list after this episode airs and get a free reading from Višnja. Višnja, thank you so much for being here, for sharing your life experience, from the really initiations you had as a teenager, going through such a chronic illness and finding healing so intuitively through a leaflet that showed up at your doorstep randomly, and then that just set you on this spiritual path that you're still living, still embodying, and now you're making it part of your work as well.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you so much for hosting me.
Oh.
And yeah, it was really nice to chat with you and to introduce myself to people. So I hope many people will send me some requests for joining my group. And yeah, until the website is out.
I'm sure they will. I'm
Mhm.
sure a lot of people will support you because, there is this, and I think it's a society and culture that we have to portray ourselves as being the experts and knowing it all and already being in a place where in reality we still are not. And you are being so vulnerable and so open about, yes, I'm starting out. Yes, I'm still not confident enough. And this is one of my first steps to actually put myself out there. And I feel like so many people will resonate with that, especially in our soul family, where we are all highly intuitively and high sensitive people, creatives, healers, therapists, writers. We have the gifts, but we just don't feel confident enough. And a lot of people go through that, and I feel like they will resonate with you. So give some support to Višnja, join her group. She's amazing. I had meditations from Višnja before. I had a reading from her as well, and she's always spot on. It's really, really amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me today. Also, if somebody is interested in sacred art, they can order some artwork if they want to decorate their space. They have some demands. You can write to me on the Facebook or in my email, so I can make this art for you if you want. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you, the listeners, for listening to this episode. Bye.
Bye bye.
To end this beautiful and inspiring conversation with Višnja, I am pulling a card from the Trust Journaling deck, and the card that I pulled is from the Unravel suite, and the soul inquiry is, when am I me, without masks, just my true, raw me? When am I me, without masks, just my true, raw me? And the affirmation is, I am connected to my true self. Thank you so much for listening to this conversation, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Soulcery Podcast and for holding space for this conversation. It is truly magical to be able to walk with you on this journey of soul healing and inner transformation. If you resonated with this episode and found it valuable, I would be grateful if you could leave a review on iTunes. Your feedback helps me reach more souls searching for guidance and healing. For more guidance and soul wisdom to support soul awakening women through the journey of alchemy, please visit my website www.lijacosta.co.uk. Love and healing to all. See you on the next one.